graduates, families, friends, honored guests, advisory board members, faculty, staff, and students. Welcome to Penn State Wilkes-Barre. At this time, I ask that everyone take a moment to turn off or silence your cell phones. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Renetta Engel, Vice President for Commonwealth Campuses.
Thank you, Dr. Chen. Good morning, everyone, graduates, family and friends, honored guests, faculty, and staff. Welcome to the 2026 Commencement exercises. We are extremely grateful to gather today in celebration of all of you graduates and the milestone achievement in your lives. We are now convened for the 2026 Spring Commencement of the Wilkes-Barre campus of the Pennsylvania State University. Please stand for the singing of our national anthem led by Professor Jonathan Panino.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. It is now my great pleasure to introduce Ms. Jill Schwartz, Chair of the Penn State Wilkes-Barre Advisory Board. Ms. Schwartz is the owner of Fortune Fabrics, Inc. and Gosh Yarn It in Kingston. Her family, the Fortinskis, has had a long-standing history with Penn State Wilkes-Barre, and we are grateful for their continued support through several endowments and scholarships at the campus. She is deeply rooted in Penn State Wilkes-Barre. Ms. Schwartz, please come forward.
Thank you. Good morning, families, friends, faculty, and most importantly, the Penn State Wilkes-Barre class of 2026. As chair of the advisory board, I have the distinct honor of looking out and seeing you in your caps and gowns and seeing the future of the Wyoming Valley and beyond. Standing here on this beautiful historic Hayfield campus, it's impossible not to feel the weight of what you've achieved. When people hear Penn State, they often think of the 100,000 people screaming in Beaver Stadium, but the soul of the university lives right here in Lehman. At a campus like Wilkes-Barre, you didn't just get a degree, you got a community. You weren't just a number in a lecture hall, you were a collaborator, a researcher, and a leader. You learned how to be world-class while remaining local heart. More importantly, it comes with a story about being part of something during a time of uncertainty, about showing up even when the future of this place wasn't guaranteed, about choosing to build friendships, chase goals, and create meaning anyway. That kind of experience shapes you. This campus was never the whole story, because when you walk across this stage, your degree doesn't come from just this campus. It comes from Penn State University. You are now joining one of the largest and most powerful alumni associations in the world. Whether you stay here in Northeast Pennsylvania or move across the globe, "We Are" chant is a universal language. Use it. Lean on your fellow alumni, and when you are in the position to do so, reach back and pull the next generation up behind you. Remain adaptable. The world is changing faster than any textbook could have predicted. Your degree is a foundation, but your curiosity must be permanent. The most successful people I know aren't those who knew everything on graduation day, but those who never stopped asking why and what's next. And finally, remember your roots. This campus is a special place. It's where you found your voice and your purpose. As you go out to build careers, take the grit and the work ethic that defines this region with you, and show the world what a Penn State Wilkes-Barre graduate can do. Classes of 2026, you have survived the exams, the projects, and the uncertainty. You have earned the right to celebrate. We are so incredibly proud of all of you. Congratulations, good luck, and one last time together, we are Penn State. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Schwartz, for your warm words of welcome and your words of advice. Very wise indeed. Your outstanding leadership as the chair of the Penn State Wilkes-Barre Advisory Board and your generous support to Penn State and to the programs and students, particularly at this campus, is most appreciated. Thank you. We are honored to have you as a member as the Wilkes-Barre Advisory Board, and we are honored to have all advisory board members here as well. I invite now Dr. Christine Bergeny, representative of the Faculty Senate for the Wilkes-Barre campus, to acknowledge this year's outstanding students in and out of the classroom. Dr. Bergeny.
Thank you. At Penn State Wilkes-Barre, we regard outstanding scholarship as a meritorious achievement which deserves public recognition. Students from our campus who are graduating with the highest distinction are wearing blue and white cords. Students who are graduating with high distinction are wearing blue cords, and students who are graduating with distinction are wearing white cords. Will the student graduating with the highest distinction please rise and remain standing? Will the students graduating with high distinction please stand and remain standing? And will the students graduating with distinction please rise? Congratulations and best wishes for future achievement. You may be seated. Students who participated on a Penn State Wilkes-Barre athletic team have been awarded silver cords in recognition of their dedication in the classroom and in competition. Will the students wearing athletic recognition cords please rise? Congratulations. We commend you on your achievements. Macy. In addition to these cords, there are 2 Presidents and Scholarship Awards that are given at the annual Academic Excellence Award ceremony, and in recognition, students with the highest academic achievement. The President Walker Award is given to students who have earned a 4.0 cumulative GPA and earned fewer than 36 credits. We have 2 recipients this year who were acknowledged during the Academic Leadership Awards reception on April 23rd, at which time they were bestowed a medal. And those students this year are Jenna Maslowski and Mason Rucker. The Evan Pugh Scholar Award is given to a senior in the upper 0.5% of their respective class. This year's recipient is one of our student marshals and class of 2026 valedictorian. Would Paisley King please stand? In addition to the Presidents and Scholars Awards, there are 4 highly competitive leadership awards that were bestowed during our scholarship and leadership program. The 2025-2026 recipient of the John R. Murphy Award for Excellence in Leadership and Service is Hannah Fall. The recipient of the Martin U. Doherty Emerging Leader Award is Jacinda Rose. The recipient of the Florence C. Doherty Pride of the Lion Award is Jocelyn Miller. Lastly, we congratulate the recipient of the Eric A. and Josephine S. Walker Award, Charlie Melville. Will our Student Leadership Award recipients please stand? Not everyone's a senior. Okay. Great. Audience, please join me in congratulating our students. It is now my pleasure to welcome Paisley King to the podium to deliver the Student Marshal Address.
Good morning, students, faculty, family, and friends. My name is Paisley King, and I am truly honored to stand before you today as the Penn State Wilkes-Barre Class of 2026 valedictorian. Today marks a significant milestone in years of dedication, perseverance, and growth. As we stand here entering this new chapter of our lives, it is important to reflect on the experience that brought us to this moment. So I would like to reflect on my time spent here at Penn State Wilkes-Barre. I transferred to Penn State Wilkes-Barre from Luzerne County Community College in 2024, and these past 2 years have been incredibly transformative. They have been challenging, exciting, and at times overwhelming, but above all, they have been filled with growth, connection, and memories that I will carry with me long after today. During my time here, I have had the opportunity to meet so many incredible people, step outside my comfort zone, and build friendships I never expected when I first transferred. Looking back, those experiences are what made my time here so meaningful. Transferring to a new institution also came with its challenges. I came from a place where I had already built my circle, my friendships, and my sense of comfort. So walking into a new environment where many people already knew each other was not always easy. However, I learned that it is never too late to find your place. It simply takes time, effort, and the willingness to show up even when it feels uncomfortable. Through that process, I found people who helped make Penn State Wilkes-Barre feel like home. I would like to sincerely thank all of my professors, staff, and classmates for their support throughout my journey here. A special thank you to Dr. Voda Pianova for not only making my time here memorable, but for consistently pushing me to reach my full potential and recognizing my capabilities, even in moments when I was still discovering them myself. I also want to take a moment to thank my family, my mom, my dad, and my brother, for their unwavering support, encouragement, and belief in me. Your constant support and ability to see the best in me, even when I struggle to see it myself, has meant everything. With that said, we have faced countless challenges and overcome obstacles throughout our time here. But today is not only about looking back on the past, it's also about looking ahead to what lies before us. Whether we are continue our education or entering the workforce, we all now have the opportunity to make a difference in the world, pursue our passions, and build meaningful futures. I urge you all to remember the lessons that we've learned here at Penn State Wilkes-Barre, the importance of hard work, the value of perseverance, the growth, and the resilience we have built during our time here. These lessons will continue to serve as the foundation for everything that lies ahead. As we move forward into the world, let us remember to never stop believing in ourselves. We are capable of achieving great things, and with the right amount of determination, dedication, and perseverance, there is nothing we cannot achieve. As we leave here today, let us not only celebrate what we have accomplished, but also embrace what is still to come. To my fellow graduates, I am so proud of each and every one of you. Congratulations on this incredible achievement, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you for being a part of this journey with me. And as always, we are
Penn State.
Thank you, Paisley, for sharing your story that exemplifies the power, really, of showing up and contributing, stepping outside of your comfort zone. Thank you for being here at Penn State. I now invite our other student marshal, Braden Rogowski, class of 2026, salutatorian, and recipient of the Samuel Valick Criminal Justice Award for highest GPA in the program during the senior year, to introduce our commencement speaker. Braden.
I thought there was going to be a copy of the script on this podium. Let me see. Hang on. We got it. We're good. It is my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, Donovan Lindsay, a proud Penn State Wilkes-Barre alumnus, nonprofit founder, educator, and advocate for college access. Donovan earned his bachelor's degree in Administration of Justice from Penn State Wilkes-Barre in 2014 and went on to complete a master's degree in Psychology of Leadership through Penn State World Campus in 2021. As a student, he was deeply engaged in campus life, dedicating his time to leadership initiatives, orientation programs, and student organizations, always focused on uplifting his peers and strengthening the Penn State community. Following graduation, Donovan continued his service to higher education as an assistant director of admissions for Penn State, supporting students at the Altoona and Harrisburg campuses. Today, he leads multiple education-focused ventures and serves as president and chief visionary officer of the College Knowledge Foundation, a nonprofit committed to providing free and low-cost college access resources to underserved students and families. He also works as a recruiter with JDS Staffing, where he specializes in talent acquisition for GE Aerospace. A life member of the Penn State Alumni Association, Donovan is the 2025 recipient of the Martin R. Cepeda Jr. Award for Alumni Career Advancement and Development. He is a sought-after speaker across Penn State campuses, sharing insights on mentorship, leadership, teamwork, and making the most of the Penn State experience. Please join me in welcoming back to Penn State Wilkes-Barre, Donovan Lindsay.
An ambulance pulled up to the top entrance of this building to take a student to the emergency room. He had been sick the night before, constantly throwing up. And that morning, something changed. There were specks of blood when he was vomiting. He freaks out, comes down to this building from his apartment, and walks into the campus nurse's office, right up the hall. She checks his vitals, didn't like what she saw, so she called an ambulance. At the same time, that same student was supposed to be walking into the academic commons for CAS 100, otherwise known to students as CAS 100 public speaking. If you know, you know. One of the most dreaded required courses a university can put on your schedule. It's the class that makes otherwise confident students, people like that, suddenly forget how to stand still. A 6 to 7 minute speech in front of about 25 people. And he's been losing sleep over it for days. Not over finals, not over a job interview, but a 6 to 7 minute speech. In front of about 25 people, and it sent him to the emergency room. We don't often realize in the moment what's possible for us. Because that same student who was nearly hospitalized for a speech in front of 25 people is standing in front of you right now. That same student later stood in front of 1,600 people at a Penn State admissions event leading a pep rally. That same student has since given thousands of presentations, worked with thousands of people, built multiple organizations, founded a nonprofit organization that has served thousands of students across the world, led teams develop young professionals, sat on boards, and has been invited to speak at campuses and conferences all over. That same student now speaks in front of dozens of people almost every day. You could not have told him 16 years ago that was possible. If I could teach any class right now at Penn State, it would be CAS 100, because I'm living proof of what's possible when you push through the thing that scares you the most. The growth I've seen in myself since that moment alone is something no other class could have given me. And you might not be able to tell yourself right now what's possible for you either. But that's exactly what I want to talk to you today about. What's possible? Before I go any further, congratulations to the graduates. You did it. Today marks the end of an amazing journey. Regardless of how long it took you to get here, whether it was 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, or more, it doesn't matter how long it took. What matters is that you're here. And today marks the beginning of something even bigger. And to the families in the room, the parents, the partners, the grandparents, the siblings, the friends, the supporters who drove hours or took off of work or stayed on the phone at midnight when things got hard. You are all a part of this degree too, and you did it. During ceremonies like this, people often come up and say how happy they are to be here, how honored they are to share the stage with everyone up here. And those things are absolutely true for me too. But I couldn't find a single word that actually captures what this feels like. Honored doesn't cover it, grateful doesn't cover it, and I'm not sure a single word exists yet. And maybe that's fitting, because what's happening in this room right now is bigger than any one word anyway. Not everyone in these seats thought that they were going to make it here today. And I'm not just talking about traffic or flight delays. Maybe there's a class that had you questioning everything, like me. Maybe there was a professor that you had convinced yourself had it out for you. And maybe right now, if we're being real, maybe one or two of you are still a little bit nervous because a professor still hasn't uploaded your final grades to Canvas. So every notification that hits your phone, you look down. I see some of you, but I won't say anything because I'd be doing the same thing. Maybe it was a breakup that felt like it was going to unravel your entire world. Maybe you or someone you love got sick and you had to step away and fight your way back here. Maybe there were moments when you looked at the finish line and genuinely didn't know if you were able to reach it. But you showed up anyway, and that's what got you here today. I've learned that you achieve things you could never dream of when you simply decide to show up. It's not a small thing, it's everything. And that's what's possible. When you show up, this moment right here is what's possible. And to the families and supporters in the room, I want to take a moment and speak directly to you. Some of you may not have been sure this day was going to come either. Maybe you hoped, maybe you prayed, maybe you worried more than your graduate ever knew. But you showed up too. You supported, you encouraged, you sacrificed. And because of that, you helped someone achieve something that, again, you didn't think was possible at one point. Don't let that go unacknowledged today either. What you're watching right now is also yours. When I was asked to be this year's commencement speaker, I said without hesitation, yes. I didn't overthink the answer. I didn't ask what the audience would think. I didn't even know what I was going to say. But I knew one thing for certain: this speech was going to be about growth and taking chances. Because this campus is where I learned how to do both of those. I walked these halls, gave tours of these halls. I sat in the seat you're in right now. And I want to tell you a little bit about what my time actually looked like here, because I think it matters for what I'm about to share. During my time as a student here, I worked in multiple departments: student affairs, admissions, career services, athletics, academic advising, and facilities and maintenance. All where I began to realize how the pieces of an organization begin to fit together. Every role I took on, I treated like a lesson in how to build something and run something. And the more departments I moved through, the more I started to see a full picture of what it takes to keep something going. I was learning how a business works from the inside out before ever thinking about starting one. My third year here, I was the busiest I had ever been. In addition to working in my 3 simultaneous on-campus jobs, I was involved at the same time in 16 different student organizations and committees. I held leadership position and officer roles on the executive board in 4 of them, while being a full-time student, carrying an 18-credit class load. I may have gone a little overboard, but nobody told me I couldn't. And actually, the only person that came close to telling me to slow down was the director of HR, who I had a very good relationship with. She pulled me to her office one day because she looked at my time card for the week prior and saw that I had worked 45 hours. She didn't know how that was possible. And she expressed that, "You're a full-time student, how did you do this?" And also said how if I kept working more than full-time hours, the university would technically have to give me benefits, which they couldn't do, although I thought that would have been pretty cool. I looked at her, we both laughed, but I also knew she was serious. Because that semester, my classes were mostly in the evenings, which meant I could work across campus all day, stay incredibly involved, carry a full course load, and somehow keep it all together. Was I the best student in terms of grades? I'll leave that one alone. But I was learning what most textbooks don't teach. My point is, there was no one telling me I couldn't do it. And because of that, I never believed that I couldn't. My mindset of not questioning what's possible started here. And everything I've built since traces back to it. I want to talk to you a little bit about growth because it's the thing I think about probably more than anything. Growth isn't easy. Growth looks different among everyone. Your growth is entirely up to you. That said, there are a few things that will determine how far you actually can go, and the first one may surprise you. It's the people you choose to surround yourself with. I find that most people dramatically underestimate the power of this. Take a moment right now and think about the 5 people you communicate with the most. Not the 5 people you think you wish that was in your circle, but the 5 people who actually are. Would you feel comfortable becoming the sum of those 5 people? Do they reflect the person that you hope to be one day? A mentor of mine once introduced me to this concept. If you look closely at all major companies, they have boards of directors, which are groups of people who help guide the biggest decisions, ask the hard questions, and hold the leadership accountable. And he said to me how we should have our own personal board of directors. Not yes people, but people who will challenge you. People who will look you in the eye and say, "I love you, but you're wrong on this." People who will invest a little bit of their time when you need to talk through a big decision and give you honest answers, even when it's not what you want to hear. Think about 5 people right now in your life. 5 people you trust, who you admire, who have shown you they have your best interest at heart. Those are the people you want in your corner because you are who you surround yourself with, and they will quietly shape every decision that you will make. And every ceiling you believe is above you, and every wall you believe is around you. The right people in your corner will change what's possible. Because what's possible for you is directly tied to the environment you choose to grow in. Think about this. You have 2 twin great white sharks that are just born. One is placed in the fish tank, one is placed in the ocean. Which one grows to be larger? The one in the ocean. They have the same potential, they have the same DNA, the same capacity, but their environment actually shapes what they become. And the shark in the fish tank, those walls are invisible to it. It doesn't even know the tank exists. And here's the thing about that. Sometimes we don't realize we've stopped growing until we change our environment. And suddenly, everything starts moving again. You look up one day and you realize and you think, why didn't I do this sooner? It's a lot of us. There was also an experiment done where researchers placed an ant and a spider on a piece of paper, and around both of them they drew a circle. They didn't know what it was, but once the circle was drawn, they stayed inside of it. The researchers kept drawing smaller and smaller circles, and they would shrink their worlds to match and wouldn't go outside of it. They just kept operating inside of the boundary that was placed around them, until one day, one of the spider's legs slightly went over the line. And at that point in time, in that moment, everything changed. The spider started to ignore all of the circles, it crossed every line, and it moved freely. Because in that one accidental step, it realized those limitations never existed. So think to yourself, what circle has been drawn around you that you're still living inside of? Because here's what I've seen working with thousands of high school and college students over the years. The most common thing holding people back isn't ability. It isn't opportunity. It's a limited belief system. It's a ceiling they believe is above them that in reality has nothing holding it up. And a lot of the times, unfortunately, it's the people closest to us who will draw those circles around us. Not out of malice, but because they never imagined us outside of the world that they knew for us. They see us through a lens that we've always been to them, not who we can be. At any point in time, you have the ability to change your environment. It may not be comfortable. The people around you may not understand why. But the decision is yours whenever you're ready to make it. It's yours to make. What's possible for you has nothing to do with the circles around you. It has everything to do with the moment you decide growth matters more than anything. Now let's also talk about perspective, because it has changed me more than anything else. Everyone you meet sees the world through a completely different lens. And learning to understand that, not just tolerate it, but really understand it, will make you better at everything. At work, at relationships, as a leader, and as a human being. I can't count how many times I've been sitting in a meeting for one of my own organizations or businesses, confident in an idea, certain I had the right answer, and someone younger than me with farther less experience who hadn't been in my business nearly as long as I have, said something that completely flipped my idea on its head. In a good way, in a way that I wouldn't have thought of. And I had to sit there and admit that someone who knew far less about my own business just made it better. That happens more than I would like to admit, but I'm grateful for every single time it does. Don't walk through life assuming you have all the answers, or really any answers. Stay curious. Ask questions when you don't know the answer. Ask questions when you think you do know the answer. When someone sees something differently than you, instead of getting defensive, get interested. Because the most valuable people I've worked with aren't the smartest people in the room. They're the ones who generally want to understand how everyone thinks. Think about what's possible when you walk into every room, generally open to learning something. That skill alone will take you further than your degree. At some point today, life is going to start lifing. You know exactly what I mean. There's going to come a season, probably more than one, probably more than two, where it feels like everything's going to be hitting you at once. Career stuff, relationship stuff, financial stuff, health stuff, family stuff. Self-doubt that shows up at 2 a.m. when you just don't need it. And in those moments, your instinct is going to be to focus on everything that's going wrong, because that's what's going to be the loudest. That demands your attention. But here's something I've had to learn over and over again. Whatever you focus on is what you see more of. Not because the world changes, but because your perspective does. And I'm not saying to pretend that the problems don't exist. I'm asking you to be intentional about where you point your attention. Because even in your hardest seasons, there's going to be something going right. Find it. Acknowledge it. Let it be the thing that keeps you moving forward while you work on everything else. That's not naivety. That's not toxic positivity. That's strategy. And the people who figure that out early have a massive advantage over everyone else. What's possible when you choose to focus on what's right in front of you instead of what's only going wrong? It's a completely different outcome every single time. I also need to talk about intention, because this might be the most important thing that I say to you today. We walk through life assuming there's going to be more time to call, more time to reach out, more time to tell someone what they mean to us, more time to repair something that got broken. We say, I'll get to that, and we mean it. And then life keeps moving, and we never do. Over the last decade, I've personally known 10 people to die by suicide. Some I was closer to than others, but every single one of them has made me more intentional about every single person in my life. Whether I have a practice now. Whenever someone comes to my mind, whether I think of them out of nowhere, whether I was scrolling through my camera roll, whether I saw something, one of those notifications on my phone that said, on this day 3 years ago, I send that person a text. It doesn't have to be a long conversation. Sometimes it's, hey, I've been thinking about you. Are you good? Sometimes it's a meme that reminds me of an inside joke. You don't know what that message can mean to someone on the day they receive it. And I say this with everything in me because I've also had 3 people tell me that because of something I did, I said, or it was simply because I reached out when I did, that's why they are still here. I didn't know it at the time. I wasn't trying to be anyone's hero, and I'm still not. I just do what feels right in each moment. And it may not be until later, much later, when you find out what that moment went to someone. What's possible from something that small? You brighten someone's afternoon, you remind someone that they matter to somebody. You might, without ever knowing it, be the reason someone is still here. Don't take that lightly, ever. And since we're on the topic of small things, some of the things and moments that have stuck with me most over the years have nothing to do with a big milestone or occasion. They're simple everyday acts, like a short text with someone checking in, or going through the drive-thru and finding out someone paid for my meal. Every time something small like that happens, it reminds me that someone took the time out of their day to make someone else's day just a little bit better. Those little things add up for you and the person on the receiving end. Never underestimate what the small things can do. A compliment, a text, holding the door open, paying for a coffee. You have no idea what that can mean to someone else. What's possible from a moment like that costs you nothing? Everything. So as you walk across this stage today, I want you to carry a few things with you. Build your circle with intention. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, believe in you, and tell you the truth. Your environment will shape you whether you're paying attention to it or not. Make sure it's an ocean and not a fish tank. Stay open to other people's perspectives. You don't have to agree with everyone, but you do have to be willing to listen. The moment you stop being curious about how other people think, you will stop growing. When life gets hard, and it will get hard, fight the instinct to only see what's broken. Look for what's still standing, focus there first, and work from that foundation. Be intentional about your relationships. Don't wait. Text, call, talk to people when they cross your mind. Tell people what they mean to you now. Don't save it for a eulogy. Be somebody who makes the world better just by you being in it. You don't need a platform to do that. You don't need a title. You just need to decide that the people around you are worth just a little bit more effort. Last story I want to leave you with that I heard here, right here on campus in the Hayfield House at a mentorship program dinner. The keynote speaker told this story about a father who took his son to a gravesite. As they stood there, looking at a tombstone, the father asked his son, "What's the most important part of this tombstone?" The son thought about it. He guessed the name and talked about why the name matters. His father said, "No, guess again." He guessed the year of birth and really talked about when your life started, when people began to know you. Father said, "Nope, guess again." He guessed the year of the death. "Nope," he said, everything he could think of, down to the stone the tombstone was made out of. Finally, the father pointed out and said, "It's the dash." The little dash between the year you were born and died, that represents everything. Every moment, every relationship, every decision, every risk you took, and every one you didn't. Every person you impacted, every time you showed up, all of it lives inside that dash. What I want you to understand is this. You already have a dash. Right now, sitting in the seat, you have a dash. When you walk across the stage today, you have a dash. When you go to work on Monday, you have a dash. When you are celebrating with your family today, you have a dash. When you're in a meeting, when you're in the car, when you're standing in the line at the grocery store, you have a dash. The question is, how are you going to use all of them? Every single day, I wake up and I ask myself 2 questions. How can I make my dash matter? And how can I make someone else's dash matter? Because here's what I've learned. If you consistently are doing something that's not affecting your dash, then maybe something needs to change. What's the point of spending your entire time, energy, or talent on something that isn't making your dash count? Everything I shared with you today, every story, every lesson, every stumble along the way, and what the student marshal shared about me before I took the stage, it all exists because in everything I do, I try to make my dash matter. Not perfectly, not every day goes as planned, but intentionally, always intentionally. And that, more than anything, is what's possible. Because you're leaving here with something real, this degree is yours, this experience is yours. Everything you push through, every late night, every hard moment, every time you almost quit, that's yours. And the person who survived all of that is more than ready to tackle the rest of their life than they know. I was the student on the stretcher, nervous about a speech in front of 25 people. And I'm standing here today. You have absolutely no idea what's possible. Go make your dash matter. Congratulations. Before I leave the stage, before I leave any stage actually, I take a selfie. Class of 2026, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Donovan, for those deeply personal and inspiring words. Your story reminds us, actually, that growth often begins where comfort ends. You really might find your greatest strength tomorrow in those uncomfortable moments now. You have challenged these graduates. And I have to say, even though I know your message was written for these graduates, I don't think there was a person in this room, myself included, that did not learn from your words today. So thank you very much. I appreciate very much what you've shared with us. So graduates, yes, surround yourself with the right people. Make every moment count. And please shape your dash to be what you want it to be. And this message was so powerful and meaningful. To commemorate your role here today, today's celebration, we present you with the most famous of all Penn State symbols, the Nittany Lion. Let me get it. Come over here. Go. Thank you. All right, we now come to the central moment of these ceremonies, the presentation of degrees. I ask Dr. Anyas Kim, Chief Campus Academic Officer, who will introduce the graduates.
There are students here today who finished their education at other Penn State locations but chose to receive their diplomas at Penn State Wilkes-Barre. We welcome their participation. There are also 48 fine students who will leave us to complete bachelor's degrees at 5 other Penn State campuses. We are confident that Penn State Wilkes-Barre has prepared them well for the challenges and opportunities they may face. Let us now proceed with the presentation of candidates for degrees. We'll take our places right there. And the first to be presented are for associate degrees. Students, you have gained knowledge and skills to earn this degree and the recognition that accompanies it. We know you will translate your learning into work and service to benefit yourself and your community. Ms. Schwartz and Ms. Tiziana Mazzarella are participating in today's commencement by congratulating our candidates. Ms. Mazzarella representing the Alumni Association, will present graduates with their first Penn State alumni pin after they receive their diploma. Ms. Heather Paris, Associate Director of Advising and 2026 Penn State Excellence in Advising Award. This is a university-wide award. It just speaks to the work and the service of Heather Paris to our campus. She will announce the name of each candidate. Will the candidates for the degree of Associate in Surveying Engineering Technology please rise? Dr. Engel, I am pleased to present these worthy and approved candidates for the degree of Associate in Surveying Engineering Technology. Will the graduates please come forward?
Easton Gamitter. Thomas Oliver.
We recognize Professor Teresa Clemente, Program Representative for the University College.
Will the candidate for the degree of Associate in Business Administration please rise? Dr. Engel, I am pleased to present this worthy and approved candidate for the degree of Associate in Business Administration. Will the graduate please come forward?
Avery Rash.
We recognize Professor Brian Rees, Program Co-Coordinator for the Information Technology Program.
Will the candidates for the Associate's degree in Information Sciences and Technology please rise? Dr. Engel, I am pleased to present these worthy and approved candidates for the degree of Associates in Information Sciences and Technology. Will the graduate please come forward?
Caleb Ballas.
We recognize Professor Christine Bergenier, Program Coordinator for the Multidisciplinary Studies Program.
Will the candidate for the degree of Associate in Multidisciplinary Studies please stand? Dr. Engel, I am pleased to present this worthy and approved candidate for the degree of Associate in Multidisciplinary Studies. Will the graduate please come forward?
Cody Bellis.
We now present candidates for baccalaureate degrees. Students, through your hard work, you have truly earned the degrees that are about to be conferred to you. The diploma you each receive represent knowledge and skills that place you in a special group of individuals who have graduated from Penn State University. Penn Staters use their knowledge and skills for the benefit of others, your families, your communities, and our world. We recognize Professor Timothy Sichler, Program Coordinator for the Electrical Engineering Technology Program.
Will my candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering Technology please rise? Dr. Engel, I am pleased to present these worthy and approved candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering Technology. Will the candidates please come forward?
Natalie Klemek. Billy Rott. Timothy Schechterly. Noah Stephen Zim.
Will the candidate for the degree of Bachelor's of Science in Surveying Engineering please rise? This one was a yes or no, so just to be sure. We recognize Professor Terry Clemente, Program Representative for the Inter-College Program in Business.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business please rise? Dr. Engel, I am pleased to present these worthy and approved candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business. Will the candidates please come forward?
Caleb Cornell. Robert John Napersky. Jacob Seymour. Sadie Lane Taylor.
We recognize Dr. Natalia Vodopianova, Program Coordinator for Corporate Communications.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Corporate Communication please rise? Dr. Engel, I'm pleased to present these worthy and approved candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Corporate Communication. Will the candidates please come forward?
Maya Ray Davison. Paislin King. Brady Thomas Schultes.
We recognize Dr. Pamela Black, Program Coordinator for Criminal Justice.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice please rise? Dr. Engel, I am pleased to present these worthy and approved candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice. Will the candidates please come forward?
Hannah Cook. Alexander Rajevich.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice please rise? Dr. Engel, I am pleased to present these worthy and approved candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice. Will the candidates please come forward?
Hunter Chalkin. Caroline Duffy. Jennifer Stephanie Gordillo Cadme. Braden Rogowski. Sarah Watkins. Javar Josie. Jaden Gail Koch. Abigail Strange.
We recognize Professor Brian Rees, Program Co-Coordinator for Information Sciences and Technology.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Information Technology please rise? Dr. Engel, I am pleased to present these worthy and approved candidates for the degree of Bachelor in Science in Information Technology. Will the candidates please come forward?
Tyler Borowski. Nicholas Simahusky.
We recognize Professor Teresa Clemente, representative for the University College Program in Project and Supply Chain Management.
Will the candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Project and Supply Chain Management please rise? Dr. Engel, I am pleased to present this worthy and approved candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Project and Supply Chain Management. Will the candidate please come forward?
Sadie Lane Taylor.
We recognize Professor Melissa Littletown, Program Coordinator for Rehabilitation and Human Services.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Rehabilitation and Human Services please rise? Dr. Engel, I am pleased to present these worthy and approved candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Rehabilitation and Human Services. Will the candidates please come forward?
Hannah Fall. Angelina Rose Irvin. Gabriella Schmoll. Joanna Shaw.
We recognize Professor Adriana Dinescu, representative for the Eberly College of Science.
Will the candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Statistics please rise? Dr. Engel, I am pleased to present this worthy and approved candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Statistics. Will the candidate please come forward?
Charles Florian.
The candidates for baccalaureate degrees have all been presented.
Will all candidates for the Associate and Baccalaureate degrees please rise? Okay. The highest authority at the Pennsylvania State University is the Board of Trustees. By the charter of the university, this body, vested with all responsibility for the governance and welfare of the institution, including the granting of degrees. It gives me great pride, therefore, that the Board of Trustees has authorized me to confer degrees at Penn State Wilkes-Barre. I hereby confer upon each of you the appropriate degree certified by the Pennsylvania State University. Associate and bachelor's degrees candidates, graduates, you may now move that tassel from the right to the left. Congratulations to all graduates, and again, let's give them another round of applause for their achievement. Graduates, you may be seated. It is now my pleasure to invite Ms. Tiziana Mazzarella to the podium to welcome the graduates into the Alumni Association. Tiziana.
Sorry, I'm losing my hat here. Okay. Jeez. All right. Thank you, Dr. Engel. Good morning, administration, faculty, staff, parents, families, friends, and most importantly, graduates. This was sitting fine the entire time until I got up here. I apologize. It is truly an honor to be here with you today as we celebrate this incredible milestone. My name is Tiziana Mazzarella, and I'm a proud 1990 food science graduate of the Penn State College of Agricultural Sciences and president of the Wyoming Valley chapter of the Penn State Alumni Association. Like many of you, I once sat where you sat, excited, maybe a little nervous, and wondering what would come next. After graduation, I worked as a food scientist in Washington, D.C. for nearly 2 years before life took an unexpected turn. I moved to Wilkes-Barre and opened an Auntie Anne's Pretzels franchise in the Wyoming Valley Mall. That one opportunity grew into 7 locations. Today, my husband Joe, also a Penn Stater, and I are franchisees for Auntie Anne's Cinnabon and Planet Smoothie. Sometimes life presents opportunities you never planned for. My degree didn't come with a roadmap to entrepreneurship, but Penn State prepared me in ways I didn't even realize at the time. It gave me resilience, community, and confidence. As a first-time generation college student, Penn State opened doors for me that no one in my family had ever walked through before. I'm forever grateful, and that gratitude inspired me to give back to the university that gave me so much. I served on the Penn State Parents Council while my 2 daughters attended University Park. I helped revitalize our Wyoming Valley Alumni chapter at a time when it was close to dissolving and served a 3-year term on the Penn State Alumni Council. More recently, I've had the joy of bringing my therapy dog, Cliff, to campus to connect with students. I share this with you because your Penn State story does not end at graduation. In many ways, it's just a beginning. So congratulations, class of 26. The Penn State Alumni Association celebrates your successes and welcomes you into a proud worldwide network of Penn Staters. With the class of 2026, that network is now more than 800,000 strong. Your new membership connects you with Penn State and nearly 300 alumni groups around the world. As you take your next step as a Penn Stater, reach out to your local alumni chapter. They'll be thrilled to hear from you. Please always remember that even though you're no longer a student, Penn State and the Penn State Alumni Association will always be here for you. Our alumni community is your community. It gives me great pleasure to induct today's graduates of the Pennsylvania State University into the Penn State Alumni Association. Welcome to our alumni family.
Thank you, Tiziana. Before we bring this commencement to a close, we would like to honor those who have contributed to the success of the class of 2025. Would the faculty please stand? And would the staff join them? Please stand. Thank you for your investment of time, your energy, your wisdom, your guidance, and the care that you took for our graduates. Thank you. You may be seated. I know that many are graduating today, but not without having the support and the time and the patience of those that surround them. People who motivated you, people who encouraged you to keep going, who nudged you as you moved forward. These people may be parents, family, spouses, faculty, others, children, who played a significant role in your lives. So graduates, I am asking that you stand and turn around and pick that person or persons, we heard from many of them, pick those persons and applaud them with the same exuberance that they applauded you. There are a few others that I would like to recognize here today. We know that we're a large family, alumni. I would like people that have supported the students, this university, the campus, to rise. And I'm going to call them out by advisory board members, people who served on committees that are from the community that stepped in and helped out. Please rise if you are here. I'd ask people from the alumni who have joined in and supported the alumni efforts here, if there's anyone in the audience. And alumni of Penn State. If you are a graduate, have graduated from Penn State, please stand, and that includes folks here on the podium. Thank you for all that you have done over the years to support Penn State and to support these graduates. To our graduates, we're now alumni of Penn State. Be proud of your achievements. Be confident in setting goals and resilient in reaching them. Be intentional in connecting with others. Make an impact in the communities. This community, the Commonwealth, the nation, and the world. Make yourself and your family and Penn State proud. Congratulations and best wishes to a very, very bright future. At this time, I invite you to join us in singing the alma mater, Led Again, by Professor Jonathan Pinino. The words are in the program if you are not familiar with them.
Strong and great, for the future that we wait. Raise the song, raise the song. Sing our love and loyalty. Sing our hopes that bright and free. Rest, oh mother dear, with thee, all with thee, all with thee. When we stood at childhood's gate, shapeless in the hands of fate, thou didst mold us, dear old state, dear old state, dear old state. Here we go. May no act of ours bring shame to one heart that loves thy name. May our lives but swell thy fame, dear old state, dear old state. We are Penn State!
That was beautiful, thank you. Immediately following the recessional, which will take the graduates across the street to the student commons, we invite you to join us for some refreshments in the commons, to take advantage of photo opportunities on this beautiful campus. Even though the skies may be gray, we are bright and shining inside. Please remain standing at your seats until all graduates have exited the gymnasium. I hereby declare the 2026 commencement ceremonies of Penn State Wilkes-Barre closed. Thank you.